how to become a full-time nail technician. If you're part-time, this is going to be a great video for you. We're going to talk about it right now on the Biz Talk. Tracey, will you go to part-time so that we see you less?
Works for me.
Work for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you go quarter time? How about 0 time?
Works for me.
You'd be here tomorrow morning. Even if I said 0 time, you'd still be here tomorrow morning, like creepy stalker walking around the premises. Binoculars. Have to call the cops on you, take you away, go to jail. Ends really bad. Let's not do that. You in jail. No
Okay.
good. That's
You
a movie.
would call me crying, begging me back.
I probably would. This is true.
Don't leave me here with Greg.
Dude, I was with Greg many, many, many years before you came on board.
Yeah. How miserable was that?
Don't let me go back.
Poor Greg.
Poor Greg. All right. Transitioning into full-time. So I guess there's two things here that I'm thinking about. Generally, you know, how to become a full-time nail tech, right? I mean, going from 0 to full-time, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
I think we can maybe touch on that. I think the big thing here is there's a lot of people at that part-time status, right? Maybe they're working another job, they're doing nails on the weekend. How do you make that transition into like, I just want to do nails full-time?
It is difficult because if you're needing that income, right? If you're needing it, you need the job. But you are also slashing your chances of clientele because you're not available.
Right.
So that is difficult to do, and at some point you have to make the pivot, and the pivot's going to hurt,
right,
for a little bit,
right.
So yeah, that's all I got.
So
it's gonna
that's
hurt.
Today's episode. So okay, scary. You've touched on that. This is if you're scared, completely normal, right? Because yes, you're going to have to let go of some income of a current job situation you got going on so that you can pivot into going full-time to build that clientele. So yeah. I guess the way that I think about it is, first of all, do you have the demand? Are there people saying to you, I want to get in, I want, like at your part-time situation, is that like, dude, I can fit in probably 3 more clients, but I can't do it because, you know, is there demand pushing on your door?
Yep.
So that it lessens that hit, right?
Yeah.
And then also, you know, okay, I've got a demand, my nails are solid, people like my service. If you've got that demand, you also know that whatever pain that you hit in that transition, it's not going to be for very long.
It's temporary.
It's temporary. So what do you think about that? Like, you know, I don't think somebody should just blindly, maybe if you need the money, to just blindly go, today's the day.
Yeah.
You know?
I have one client, I'm quitting.
I have one client, I'm going to, yeah, exactly.
No, you don't want to do that. But it's difficult, right? Because part of building the full-time clientele is you're just taking whatever you can get. And then when you've minimized your hours, and a lot of times it might be prime time for building a clientele, weekends or whatever, that's where the difficult part is. But yes, I think the best way of going about it, if you need that income, is completely or almost completely booking the times that you are available.
Right.
Maybe start building a little wait list. Get a few on the little wait list.
I like that a lot.
And then you know, maybe, you know, see if you can even cut down a little bit more from part-time.
I think where people might, I'll say this, what would be scary for me is if you are like your part-time nail business is not busy, and what you're saying is the reason why it's not busy is because I can't focus my time and so I'm going to let go of this other job. That could be true. I know for me, I'm the kind of personality where I just go all in from the beginning, right?
Well, I was part-time at first.
I did not.
Yeah.
Did I know that? I don't think I know that. I don't know you, Tracey. Get out. Just kidding.
I actually had completely forgotten, but yes, I was. I shared a booth with somebody at first.
Okay.
Very briefly. Very briefly.
For how long?
Maybe a month, 2, max.
Okay, and how was it?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it because...
Did you sabotage her?
Again, I would get calls. Well, I was there. Can you get me in on this day? No, I can't. And I would end up booking her because that's the day they wanted in. They couldn't make it fit in my day. So I would book her. And then actually what really just did me in is I came in one day that was my day to work, and she was sitting at a different station. Someone let her use her station on my day so she could take a client. And I'm like, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm booking on your days for you. And then you're just going to come in on, no, we split the booth.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're splitting the time. You don't get to just come sit at an empty station.
Right.
So I was
So
done.
what did you, you said for a couple months.
Yeah.
Or so.
She quit.
Okay.
Fortunately, she quit.
And then you had it all to yourself.
I had it all to myself. And I was able to build faster that way. Again, I had that opportunity though. And I think it was literally a month. It did not last long.
So that's really interesting. It's something I didn't think about. And you said it earlier, but it didn't hit, is the limitations with slots available. Mm-hmm. Right. So let me ask this. If you are part-time, what would be the ideal time slots? Like, if you're able to do it, weekends, I'm assuming those are going to be the busiest. Saturday for sure.
Saturday's
right?
good. It's really good. Get yourself Saturdays.
But I would imagine evenings would be pretty good too, because most people, if they're working during the day, then they can do nails at night. If you're working during the day, you have those open too.
Your 5-6 schedule right there is
Okay.
really good. Mondays are typically, not the best. Thursday, Friday, Saturday are your best days.
Okay. So but that makes sense. Like if you have another gig, it's probably going to be during the day, most likely. Mm-hmm. So you have your nights available. They have nights available. Yep. So you should be able to make that work for the most part, slots, right? Yeah.
What is hard is there's only so much in the evening you can do.
Right.
There's the shortened hours there.
Of course.
So, but yeah, those are prime times, and people like to keep those times. They don't once you get a loyal customer and that's their appointment, they keep it because it's going to be hard for them to find someone else that will fit them in like that.
Yeah. There's just no perfect formula for there's going to be a little bit of mess, right? And that's business. That's how it is. I would look for those opportunities of dude, my clients are happy. They love my work. I can do this, right? I see there is a pattern and I feel confident I can make that transition. It's going to be hard. There's just no way around that part of it, right?
There isn't. But, I liked your idea, though, of get yourself comfortable in those slots.
Right.
If you're only doing 1 or 2 in those days that you are working, then it might not be time to do that. Get yourself that buffer, get comfortable with it, and then start adding.
Dude, it's so funny. I always forget this, and then we'll have a conversation on the podcast, and then I remember I had to work 2 different jobs.
See, we both forgot we were part-time.
We both forgot we were part-time, man. I would when I first started working at Young Nails, and this was in 2001, couldn't afford to pay. Right. Yeah. The business couldn't afford to pay me or Greg or my mom. We were bare minimum. We were all living at home because I moved back home from being on my own. I was on my own independent since 18, for 10 years, and I had to move back home because I couldn't afford it. So the only thing that was we were pulling money for was food and pay electricity.
Essentials.
And total essentials. Cannot go out, cannot do shit, right? So in order to make extra money, I had to find another job. My cousin, he was tutoring kids for high school and grade school, and he was like, hey, he was going away to law school, and he's like, do you want to take this over? I was like, yes. So I would come to work at like 7 a.m. I would work until 3. At 3 o'clock, I was out, and I would drive down to Irvine, and I started building my own clientele. I started with one student. The parents really liked me. Then it branched out. So like 3 days a week, 4 days a week, I would drive out and I would tutor in the evenings, and it was great supplemental income.
I have to ask, what did you tutor?
Math, English, history, whatever.
That makes sense.
It didn't matter. I was a good student, in elementary school, high school, even college. I was a really good student, right? So,
but what you're saying though, I think this is important. You're saying you come in at 7, you were working till 3, then you're taking off. So a lot of times when people have a part-time job, they're tired, right? And they start going, you know what? I don't have a client. I'm not going in. They start it's easier to, because you're going to be working harder than anybody else.
Of course.
You're going to have to be paying more dues. And unfortunately, it's going to take you twice as long because of it.
That's right.
So expect that. You're going to have to kick it in high gear, and you're going to suffer a little bit, but it will be worth it.
To your point, what you're saying, you're not only tired, you're physically, but mentally it's even more exhausting because, I'm going in 7 to 3, let's say, not making any money, but I'm pounding and working hard to build it without any sort of payment. And then I got to go to my second job to bring in some income. So, and I did that for a couple years. I had to do it for a couple years before the business could pay a small salary and could survive. So for nail pros that are wanting to build, look, you don't have a client, don't matter. You better go in and you better either practice or get your social media game going.
You're at work, marketing, you're practicing, you're doing whatever it is.
Exactly.
And don't compare yourself. Well, that person built their clientele, but they were there full time.
Right.
And that's not your fault. You have to work the part-time, but it is going to take you longer. So don't judge yourself off of that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't judge yourself how I judge Tracey every single day. It's not a good thing, right? My judgment of you is my judgment of you, Trace.
See, he's hurtful.
Let us know your thoughts on this topic. We'd love to hear about it in the comments below. I say that every episode, but I mean it. We want to get the conversation going. We want to see what you guys have to say. Tracey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Biz Talk.